Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be talking about transit Pluto Sextile or Trine one's natal midheaven. Now, this transit may manifest in power, control, transformation, passion, desire, and probing. This being in harmony with one's career and laborious work. Now, I'm going to elaborate and expound on that. This is a time where if you're going during this transit, it's about having more, I would say, more control over your own career. It could be having a position of power as well, being able to handle that with a lot of responsibility. Being there was some expression somewhere where great power comes great responsibility, and this could be that transit, which can correspond with that. It might be a time as well where when you have this transit, it's also about passion and desire for laborious work. If you have your natal midheaven in Capricorn, it could be something to do with maybe construction or architecture. As some examples, it can be or masonry. It might be a time. It could be a time when you have this transit as well. And if you're trying to make a major transformation in your life, and if you're at a position where you have to work hard, you may have more of an ability to balance those energies. And it can also be a time as well having, again, the fact that Pluto is associated with passion and desire, it can be a time to have more of that passion and desire to take care those responsibilities. If you have your natal midheaven in Scorpio, say, those responsibilities may be connected with insurance or taxes or recycling. It could be doing something connected with inheritance or will, as some other examples. It may be a time as well where you can be, as far as Pluto goes, it's connected with probing, it's deep research. If you're trying to find another career outlet, it may be a time where it could be very positive for you to research deeply into it, whether you're going online, which is what a lot of people do, in order to to find out what you need to do as far as attaining that particular career, whether it requires more higher education or courses need to be taken, or what qualifications, credentials do you already have for it. It can be a time as well where it can be very auspicious for having the power and control over connection with the dominant parent, which is often the father. And this is not about being romping all over this person, or being ruthless in your connection with this person. But what it is, it's about having more, just simply having the control of your connection with this person, being able to say, for example, doing activities with this person when you're able to do it, having more free time to have general involvement with the dominant parent at this time. And it also would apply to authority figures and older people as well. If you have your natal midheaven, and say if it's in Leo, if the authority figure may be a Leo sun, moon, or ascendant person, or simply one that embodies Leo characteristics. It might be somebody that's very magnanimous, generous, has a lot of courage and fortitude, but yet may be domineering as well, maybe even arrogant and bombastic, as some examples. And this is also a time where it's about having that right amount of passion and desire in attaining success. Now, some of you, they wonder, well, what's the difference between this transit and the conjunction? Well, the conjunction and the sextile trine or trine aspect are comparable, but they're not exactly the same. When you have the conjunction, now conjunctions are very integrating and intensifying. And when you have, like, say, you have the transit Pluto making a conjunction to the natal midheaven, the energy could be obsessive and fixated. It can be at a point where you might be overly obsessed and fixated with the career and working laboriously, responsibilities, etc. Whereas when you have the sextile or trine, it's just simply having like that right amount of passion and desire to do things that are associated with the midheaven. Now, the thing about this is, again, going back to the midheaven being connected with success, this is again about having the right amount of passion, desire, in attaining success. If the natal midheaven is in Sagittarius, as an example, it could be success in publishing or advertising or sports. It could be doing something with printing press operation, or doing maybe something associated with foreign travel, as some examples, or exploration. Now, this is also a time as well when this transit does take place. If you're, it can be a very positive time for your public image and reputation. It's about having, more power, control over it. I mean, say for example, if somebody's trying to vilify you or malign you, somebody is like trying to slander you and say things about you that are not true in order to bring your reputation and public image down, it's a time where you're more likely able to diffuse it, and where people maybe just won't believe what's being said that is negative about you, that would be a lie, or something that could be fallacious that is connected with you. It can be a time as well, considering that the midheaven is connected with our variety and its recognition. It can be a time where it's about getting support for this. If you're trying to say promote something, it can be monetary support or emotional, moral support, people being more encouraging to you in order to do so, in order to improve your public image, I should say your notoriety, getting notoriety and recognition at this time. And people that are, you could say, Plutonian, and when I say Plutonian, it could be somebody in a Plutonian profession, somebody connected with the occult, which includes astrology or insurance, taxes, recycling, forensics, investigation, as some examples, or somebody you may be in a shared resources scenario with, or an intimate relationship with. Those people may be more in agreement with that side that you can or have very strong difficulty in suppressing, which is the midheaven. And say, for example, if the the natal midheaven is in Aquarius, it could be rather could be non-conforming side, or side that's eccentric, but also one that could be very selfless, altruistic, and considerate, as some examples using the natal midheaven in Aquarius as an example for that. But anyway, now another thing about this transit, now another way it can be expressed, it can be very positive for having, again, that passion and desire, which is Pluto, for career related, which is the midheaven matters. If the midheaven, natal midheaven, is in Gemini, as an example, those career related matters could be associated with communication. It could be sales. It could be something that requires manual dexterity, such as auto or refrigeration mechanics. And this also could be an auspicious time to get that support, which is Pluto, whether it could be moral, emotional, or monetary support in order to attain success, which is the midheaven. If the midheaven is in Sagittarius, as an example, it could be having success in publishing, advertising, sports, translation, it could be something like printing press operation, as some examples. Now, another way the transit may manifest, it could be that, again, reiterating what I said previously, the Pluto-related people, again, people that could be in those Plutonian professions that I stated about before, or it could be somebody you're in an intimate relationship with, or a shared resources scenario with. Those people at this time can be more in harmony and agreement, be more compatible with that side that you either can't suppress or have tremendous difficulty in suppressing. Hold on a moment, people. Sorry about that, I'm back. But anyway, now for example, if the natal midheaven is in Capricorn, that side that you have either difficulty or can't suppress, maybe one that's disciplined, responsible, ambitious, premeditative, consistent, or serious. And it may also be a time where it's propitious for control, which is Pluto, in matters with the reputation and public image, which is the midheaven. Now, for example, if the natal midheaven is in the zodiac sign Cancer, it can be a public image that's associated being very nurturing, sympathetic. It could be protective, one that's very dedicated and caring, as some examples. And it's also a time where it can be positive for having the desire and passion, which is Pluto, for attaining notoriety and recognition, which is the midheaven. Now, let's say, for example, if the natal midheaven is in Libra, it could be about attaining notoriety and recognition in art, which covers a wide divergence of things, whether it could be drawing, painting, or sculpting, and or also maybe even fashion design. It could be doing something with the law, or even something associated with balance, such as tennis or gymnastics, as some examples. Anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, Edwin Learnard saying stay well.